Former Knicks general manager Scott Perry recently weighed in on the Knicks' chances in the postseason, and he called out the Knicks' defense as a major weakness to their playoff dreams. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications on as well too. If you want to support the channel, the easiest way to do that is to hit that subscribe button. And now, let's get started. Former Knicks GM calls out New York's defense ahead of the postseason. If you look at the Knicks front office and you look up Knicks general manager, you will not see anyone listed. That's because right now, New York currently does not have a GM in place. Now, I have a theory on why that is, and it involves head coach Tom Thibodeau, but that's another topic for another day. As of right now, the Knicks do not have a GM in place. Their former GM was Scott Perry, and in my opinion, he did a really good job as GM of the Knicks. But when he left, he joined ESPN, and now he regularly appears on the podcast called Hoops Genius. And recently, on an episode of that podcast, he talked about the Knicks, their playoff dreams, and what their major weakness is headed into the postseason. Instead of me talking about it or reading his quote, I think it's important for you to hear this exactly from Scott Perry himself. Roll it. We have breaking news. As we're recording this video, Shams of ESPN dropped the following report. As you can see here, the Sacramento Kings are finalizing a deal to hire longtime NBA executive Scott Perry as their new general manager. Perry spent 3 months with the Kings in 2017 before leaving for the Knicks. Perry started his executive career in 2000 with Detroit. This is a great opportunity for Perry, and I just wanted to mention this and highlight it because it's happening as we're recording this episode. So I wanted to make sure I gave him some flowers and gave him some credit because he deserves this role. He did a great job with the Knicks, and I know he's going to do a great job with the Kings. But either way, let's still get back to the comments that he said when he was a part of ESPN and was on the podcast Hoops Genius.
Do you think the Knicks have a chance at winning the Eastern Conference?
Well, when you use the word chance, yes, they have a chance. Now, do I favor them to go, as it stands right now, they would be matched up with the Celtics in the second round. If both teams are fully healthy, I'm going to favor the Boston Celtics. They've been there. I just think they play extremely well together, and they're better defensively than this Knicks team. The Knicks, as a group, last I heard, they were like the 17th ranked defensive team.
Yeah, the middle of the pack.
Yeah, so the Celtics are probably in the top 5 or 6 in that ranking. And so again, you know me, Mo, I'm going to always default to those groups that consistently defend because both teams are going to have capable scorers and can put points on the board. But when it gets down to crunch time and the shots are falling as well as you'd like them to fall, I'm going to lean towards that team that's more consistent on the defensive end, and that being the Boston Celtics.
Firstly, I got to mention something because this might go over some people's head. He didn't mention the first round at all. So for him, the Knicks are already going to the second round. We're facing off against the Boston Celtics. And for me, that is great to hear because a lot of people think the Knicks might flame out in the first round. Now, I don't believe that. I don't think that. I truthfully believe that New York is absolutely going to do everything they need to do, take care of Detroit, and move on to the second round. However, a lot of what Scott Perry said, even though I don't like it, and it's hard to hear as a fan, it's hard to say where he was wrong. Defensively, we are weak. I've said it since preseason, and I was called crazy. The Knicks' perimeter defense, how they guard the three, has been poor since preseason. And even then, I remember saying it then, those are habits. Habits are extremely hard to break. You'd be lucky to break a habit over the course of a few months. Some people take years to break a habit. That's how hard it is. If you're always doing this with this team and you're not really guarding the three, and you haven't done that all season long, it's hard to imagine that this team is magically going to do that come the postseason. Now they need to do that. They need to improve, and I hope they can. However, Scott Perry makes a lot of valid points, especially when he calls out the Knicks and their defense, because it is a weakness. And a major part of the Knicks' weakness this year in terms of defense is how they defend inside. Last year, maybe we had the same issues in terms of not being able to guard the perimeter, but inside, we were a better team defensively. This year, not only are we a less physical team, which we are, our defense inside is worse. And that's probably because Mitchell Robinson missed a lot of the season rehabbing. But even when Robinson is in the game, our defense is a little bit better inside. But when he leaves, it's just as bad because defensively inside, Karl Anthony Towns gets taken advantage of. And our wings cannot stop penetrators. Maybe they can stop one or two of them, but after they move the ball, they either get an open shot, somebody's cutting back door, or somebody's open in the mid-range. And New York cannot stop that. Another thing that Scott Perry said, and in my opinion, this is probably one of the most important things he said in that entire clip: consistency. He trusts the groups that have done it consistently and showed him consistently that they can get there without an issue. The Celtics, as much as I hate them, hate their green, and never want to see them again, I understand what Perry is saying here. They've done it consistently, and that's why people look at them and believe in them. With the Knicks, consistency? We don't win consistently the way we should be winning. Oftentimes, what we do consistently is not great. Consistently, we can't generate enough threes. Consistently, we can't guard the three very well. And consistently, we get taken advantage of inside. We do things consistently, but they're not things that teams want to do consistently. You don't want to do these things as a team looking to win a championship. If you're a championship contender, you're not doing this. You're a better team defensively. You're more consistent defensively and offensively. But New York, it hasn't been that way for them this season. They've been up and down all season long, and they cannot play together for 48 minutes. Sometimes they play for 40 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes. But there's always a point in the game where you look at the team and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, they've dropped their play. They're not playing as aggressively as they were in the first quarter or the second quarter. And I hate saying that. I hate saying that about this team, about a team that I love and I constantly root for. However, you have to call things as you see it. I don't want to say these things, but guess what? If New York cleans it up, I don't have to say it. The reason I'm saying it is because they exist. These problems exist, and New York needs to clean all of this up. Not even only these things. They have worse problems to deal with, but right now, these are the surface level problems that everybody can see. And we only have about less than a week to become a better team defensively in many, many areas. I will give the Knicks one thing. We have not seen this team play at full capacity, full strength, full health at that level at all this season. I would love to see that happen come this weekend in game one against the Pistons. And then each and every game after that, get better, more physical, and more determined as a team. Not only do I want to beat the Pistons, I want to smoke them. I don't want to leave any doubts in anyone's mind who won this series and how badly we beat the other team. That's the type of win I want during this series. And New York needs to deliver that, because if they do that and bring that message into the second round, it is going to be a game changer. Everybody's going to be looking at them and looking at what they did, including their opponents, likely the Boston Celtics. But either way here, New York has a long road ahead of them, and I am here for all of it. I can't wait to see what a fully healthy Knicks team does and the damage they cause in the postseason. We're only going to have to wait a few more days, and then the playoffs begin, and it's nightmare time for the Detroit Pistons, courtesy of the New York Knicks. But what about you guys? What do you think about former Knicks GM Scott Perry and his comments that he made about New York? Do you agree with him? Do you think that one of the major weaknesses for this team going into the postseason is their defense? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.